Good day everyone. Before I discuss our topic, may I introduce to you? I am a leader of group 9. My name is Jenisa Savelio and my member is Kayla Antolin and Richard Diego. Our topic is chapter 14 about women and work in the Philippines. I hope you enjoy our topic today to discuss. God bless. Chapter 14 Women and Work in the Philippines. Objectives: to be able to identify the major problems the women facing in the labor and livelihood sectors. Number 2. To be able to know the rights to women when it comes to the labors and livelihood. Number 3. Understanding the importance of knowing the right of women when it comes to the rights. Topic number 1 is about women and the productive sphere. Number 1. The saying a woman's worth is never done. True give the current state of our world. 2. Women are the key contributors to the economy and to the combating poverty through both remunerated and unremunerated work at home, in the community, and others. Number 3. Growing numbers of women have achieved economic independence through gainful employment. Despite this progress, women still face issues they did 10 years ago. Examples: the wages gap, poverty, lack of decent work opportunities, and many others. Another issue about feminization. The shift of gender roles, which in some industries we can observe this, while others the conclusion when it comes to women. Topic number 3. The right to decent work. Women have right to have decent work. Example: support service, family obligation, and work responsibilities. Number 2. In the Magna Carta, women, specifically Section 22 of the Magna Carta, asserts that the state shall progressively realize and ensure decent work standards for women that involve the creation of acceptable quality to condition of freedom, equity, security, and human dignity. Topic number 4. The multiple burdens of women. Women tend to the reproductive and productive work is what feminists call the double day or multiple day. Example: house chores include cooking, cleaning, washing clothes, childcare, take care, elderly, or 6 persons. In short, 10 women tend to do numerous tasks. Topic number 5. The evolution of care work. There were many studies on care work that discussed the ways to influence culture and society, both women and men. Number 2. Women working in care industries must be valued both as workers. Women are true gender justice and equality in terms of social, political, and economics.
Woman-friendly workspace. A gender-responsive organization gives importance to women through gender needs. These are some contrived ways of implementing gender-responsive workspace of follows. Number 1. New laws that recognize the right of paid or unpaid care workers. Number 2. Pro-reproductive sector tax reforms. Number 3. Gender-responsive public financial management reforms or gender budget. Number 4. Official statistical systems that are more sensitive to the care economy or truth collection of time use data. Also, we are woman-friendly workplace practice. Here are some few of a quarterly meetup, more woman leaders, anonymous feedback, spread awareness, zero tolerance policy. The nature of women's paid work. In terms of women paid works, Some women participate in formal labor. In these types of work involve less security, lower wage, and lastly less social protection. According to the lecture, woman had 25% household around the globe, but it is known that these households are often pure due with discrimination and other. Sex role stereotyping at work. Sex role stereotyping pervades all aspects of society, from one of assumes about men and women to the types of jobs they can have. Men are employed in labor-intensive jobs while women are likely takes jobs on taking care and understanding. But it appears women and men tends to wear away from jobs that do not correspond to their stereotype role because women workers are in top administrative role. In the Philippines, half of executives are awarded to women even through 67% of Filipino women. Small and medium-scale enterprise. In the Philippines, there were many active women in micro, small and medium enterprise or MSMEs. Philippines is the second country with the most active women in or MSMEs next to
Peru.
In 2015, there were 45% micro enterprise owner there women. MSME is a small enterprise contest and owner an employee in a capital below 10,000. There are examples of MSME in form of food sales, retail service, personal service. But sometimes women give up their business. There are some reasons why. To return to their reproductive responsibilities, lack of entrepreneurial knowledge, lack of money. This government to some economic support to help to assess women. For example, project that covers marginalized in the labor sector include the gender responsive action for the transformation of women or Great Woman Protect. A gender-responsive initiative specifically set up for women in micro-enterprise. The other one in the advising Philippines competitives or complete, which supports small and medium enterprise founded by the United States. Women in the rural agricultural sector. Agriculture a fundamental major contributor to a nation food production and industries, which women farmers and rural women plays a general role in agriculture at all levels. The Food in Agriculture Organization or FAO recognize women as active economic actors being among the latest workers, traders of agricultural and fishery product and others. In 2014, FAO reported 27% of the 10.4 million Filipino workforce in the sectors of agriculture, hunting, the fishery are women. In 2015, 49% of farming households in the Philippines hired women to do land preparation, planting, and harvesting activities. Migrant women. Many Filipinos wanted to go abroad are overseas Filipino workers, or OFW, in the country like Middle East, Europe, US. There were 10.4 million Filipino or greater than the population are based abroad. In 2012, Philippines deployed 2.2 million or OFW and 50% of which were women. 40% OFW deployed in 2012 work in Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Singapore. and 60% of their were women, and majority of their work are in care work and domestic. In short, many migrant women are from Philippines just to do domestic work or care work.
Women in informal sector. To get a chance to work, women choose to work in informal work, which has many disadvantages like lack of access to protection, productive resources exposes them to poor working condition and limits their representation beyond 8 hours of working, lower capital and productivity, which all of these counterparts in the informal sector. Also, women working in informal sector experience gender inequality. It is a discrimination on the basis of sex or gender, causing one sex or gender to be routinely privileged or patronized over another. Work on domestic workers. Domestic work, housework such as sweeping, cleaning utensils, washing clothes, cooking, caring of children, and other such work, which is carried out for employer for an remuneration. This type of work has no fixed hours. Domestic workers do care work, the same task at home. This work is only paid when done in another home. In 2010, 84.5 domestic workers in private homes were women, and 91.1% were employed as live-in domestic workers. But at the end of the day, women domestic workers only earn 23 pesos and 20 centavos versus 188 pesos for male domestic workers, despite rendering slightly more time than male counterparts, which is 32.1 hours versus 51.4 hours. In this topic, we can still see the inequality between men and women, because women domestic workers have more time of working hours than men, but they earn low salary while the men are earning high salary. The sex trade. Sex industry is usually refers to the reproductive activity which is called coitus or sex to exchange for pay. It is dominantly a female issue because most sex workers are females and the buyers are all males. Sex work was created by the historical past of history. Issue regarding in this topic. Women is getting abused by men. Women also getting empowered by men. And also triggering a shift in a sexual norms. For example, the double standard of sex. It is okay for men to have sex outside of the marriage because it's socially accepted, but not women, because women are expected to express their sexuality in the marriage only. Women and the domestic sphere. Domestic sphere is associated with privacy, family, intimacy, and self-expression. Domestic life takes place away from the public gaze, but is nevertheless associated with public issues of work, gender, and safety. Domestic women. The fact that domestic women are dependent on men, that their husband provide them. Some husbands do not give their money on their wife. Some husbands spend their money on alcohol, luxuries, and others. By this, women should do something to have income. They say that women should stay at home, but they rarely stay at home. Rather, they are at home of others' home to be able to supplement the major income of their husband. The current model of Philippine economy places. They value on monetary income and they value care work. By this it isolates women from public sphere and public participation. The separation of private and public spheres become an excuse of men to dismiss their role as caregiver and using their earnings to avoid responsibility. Another one. Men can hold resources that women needed, that is income. By this, men can overpower and abuse women. In order to address these matters, policies that seek to empower women in the economic sphere had been formulated. These are follows. Republic Act 9501 or the Magna Carta Micro, Small, Medium, and Enterprise. Republic Act 10151 or an act the employment of night workers of 2011. Republic Act 10361 or the Domestic Workers Act of 2013 Batas Kasambahan. Reflection or insights of our topic. In the topic we discussed, it shows women's life or status in this society was never easy when it comes to their work. In the everyday life of a woman, it is a battle we never knew if we win or lose. Women being portrayed weak and cannot do anything at all is just not true. Because right now, women are able to do anything, be able to have their own income, provide for themselves, which we discussed on our topic that some women are working as a domestic worker and be able to work also in office and others. But also in our topic, we can see some gender equality, that there were still barriers that separate men and women, a barrier that is too hard to change even right now. The mindset and how other people see women in different aspects. By this, we learn that there are some laws that protect women's right to be able to feel women safe when they are working away or near to their family.
This is the summary of Chapter 14, Women and Work in the Philippines. Number 1 is topic, Women in the Productive Sphere. Women are the key contributors to the economy and combating poverty. The right to decent work. Women have right to decent work, so there is some laws that protect their rights like RA 9501 or the Magna Carta for micro, small, and medium enterprise. Equality and numerous tasks that do in the same time. Women-friendly workspaces. 6 role stereotyping forbids all aspects of society from what one assumes about men and women to the types of jobs they can have. Small and medium skills enterprise. MSME is a small enterprise consists an owner and employee in a capital below 10,000. Women in the rural agricultural sector. Agriculture, a fundamental major contributor to a nation's food production and industries, which women, farmers, and rural women plays a general role in agriculture at all levels. Domestic work. Housework such as sweeping, cleaning utensils, washing clothes, cooking, caring for children, and other work which is carried out for an employer for remuneration. This type of work no fixed hours. Domestic workers. Zucker work the very same tax at home. This work only paid when done in another home. Sex industry. One usually refers to the reproductive activity called coitus or sex in exchange for pay. Domestic sapphire is associated with privacy, family, intimacy, and self-expression. Domestic life takes place away from the public space but is nevertheless associated with public issues of gender, work, and safety.
Guide question. How can you explain the statement, a woman work is never done? Number 2. What is the reason women working in informal sector are vulnerable? Number 3. What are some major issues that affect women in their 6 role stereotyping at work? Number 4. Name some law policies that protect the rights of women in the workplace.